Welcome back, Doom Tubers, Doom Waves, back here with another pickup video. It's a little different this time because Mrs. Doom Waves is in the other room, and it's a little awkward to talk, but whatever. And if you hear some extra sounds, it's my dogs who are very happy at the new puppy bed that was bought for them. That they're very excited about. So I will not be showing that in this pickup video, though. So just know that you're not going to see a dog bed in this video. But what you will see are some amazing games and stuff. So didn't pick up any movies or music this time, which is fine because I got some fantastic games. First up was kind of garage sale day. It's been a couple weeks now. There was a citywide garage sales in a nearby town, so we went and I found a few things. I paid a little bit for the stuff, but I'm glad to have the stuff that it is, so I was okay with it. One of the places we went actually was charging an arm and a freaking leg for really crappy vinyl. $5 for just really old, beat up vinyl, and I was no. Not gonna happen. Yeah, it was a kind of a junk store who was also having a yard sale in celebration of this citywide yard sale, garage sales. But I did find a couple of things there. First up, he didn't have prices on these, so I lumped these together into the pile. Paid $20 altogether, and ended up with a loose cartridge of Pac-Man 2, the new adventures for the Sega Genesis, which really sucks. If you find this game, don't buy it unless you're just a Pac-Man collector. I didn't know how bad this game was until I bought it, and it's horrible. So there's that, but I'm okay with it because I'm still a big Pac-Man fan, and I don't mind having a little bit of Pac-Man dead weight hanging around because I do love Pac-Man. Speaking of which, Ms. Pac-Man on the Sega Genesis is fantastic. So that kind of made up for it. Just classic Ms. Pac-Man. You know what you're getting into here. It's a great game, great port on the Genesis, and yeah, got that. And then the last thing that I got from that sale did have a complete copy, and I still got, I don't know if there might be a download code for like a soundtrack or something in here. Complete copy of The Walking Dead, Telltale Games Walking Dead Game of the Year Edition. So this does have the 400 Days DLC on disc, which is nice. I think this retails for like $25-30. I'm not sure, but so he had $20 on this, but he lumped in the Genesis games, and I paid $20. So I'm okay with the deal because I really wanted this game. Really looking forward to that, and I'm glad that I waited too because I think that the just the standard version of the game when it first came out was $20 for all the episodes, but that was with the 400 Days DLC for virtually the same price. So I'm okay with it. Then actually this was purchased at a junk store and not at the garage sale. The local junk store that I frequent. It's just nothing special at all. TNN Motorsports Hardcore 4x4 for the PlayStation 1. It does have the original case, just no manual. It was just like, for $1 for a crappy racing game, I thought I would give it a try. And yeah, it's a pretty standard, crappy 4x4 truck racing. It's pretty generic stuff on the PlayStation 1, but whatever. And then lastly, at a garage sale, I mainly bought this to try and trade off. I honestly didn't really buy this with the intention of playing. We went to a kind of make an offer kind of garage sale. We got a couple of things, and I did end up with a copy of Sid Meier's Civilization 5 for the PC, and it is complete. It's got a big map-looking manual and a tech tree and specific chart, whatever that is. So it is a complete copy. So if anybody wants that, hit me up and you can have a copy of Civ 5, possibly. Okay, that was actually it for the garage sale stuff. Now we get into the really good stuff. I'm pretty stoked about all of these purchases. Did some extra work for my sister-in-law. She paid me paid me for it, so I was pretty stoked about that. And just splurged on a little bit of stuff. It came with quite a stack of games here. First up is actually, this was a freebie, and I'm so stoked to get this. I've been asking for months, every time I go into a GameStop, if they have an extra empty case for Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, because I just have a disc only. So I just, just on the off chance that they would have the case. And I think I've probably asked, at 5 or 6 different GameStops, throughout the, area, and never had an empty case. So I had been in this GameStop. This was just last Monday, so about a week ago. Not even quite a week ago. I had been talking with this guy the whole time I was in there. We were pretty chatty, talking about lots of different games. So finally, I was kind of getting ready to leave, and I asked if he had an extra case for Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. So not only did the dude hook me up with the case, but he hooked me up with the Steelbook complete for the 360, manual and all. And that was kind of shocking. I was like, holy crap! So it does pay, I think. In certain instances, it really does pay to be persistent and ask, and also it does not hurt to kind of try and be chummy with the guys that work there, because you may end up with a cool freebie like this. So Metal Gear Rising Revengeance Steelbook. I already have the game, so now I have the case. But Haas is borrowing the game right now. Otherwise, the game would already be in here. So yeah, that was very cool. And then onward to the games. First off, I'll show really long story here, and I'll try not to make it too long. I went in and bought BlazBlue Calamity Trigger, which is the first game in the series. Really into fighting games lately, and you'll see that represented here. So I got BlazBlue Calamity Trigger, and they didn't have Continuum Shift. So, but I ended up with a free case for Continuum Shift, because he was going to throw it away because they had the case but didn't have the game. So I said, okay, if I find a loose copy of the game, then I'll have the case already. So good, whatever. So we went to, I made my purchases there, which I'll show you the rest of in a second, and then I went to the other GameStop in town and found BlazBlue Continuum Shift Extend. So this is like the expanded version of the same game. So I was like, what the heck, I'll just get this for, it was just a little bit more. So then I had BlazBlue Calamity Trigger and Continuum Shift, and I didn't have to worry about it. And I just had an extra Continuum Shift case. Well, then I got home, and then I put it in. I didn't even look at the discs. And then the next day I put in Calamity Trigger so I can play it. Played for a little while, and then realized I'm playing Continuum Shift. Thinking, what the heck happened? So I looked, and in this case was Continuum Shift Extend, and then I ended up with a copy of Continuum Shift and not a copy of Calamity Trigger. So we went back today, and I did return the extra copy of Continuum Shift. So now I don't even have Calamity Trigger because they still didn't have that, which was fine, but got Continuum Shift Extend, and we'll call it good. I love the art style of the BlazBlue games. I didn't know that this was actually a continuation, sort of the Guilty Gear series, which is really, really pretty cool, which I have, very little experience of. Haas and I played it a few months ago on his channel. We got a 30-minute, session of us playing Guilty Gear X2 on the PlayStation 2, which was pretty fun. So I'm still looking into the Guilty Gear games, but they had at least this BlazBlue game, and I think that a third one just came out. So now I'm looking for the first and third game in the BlazBlue series, but for now I'm fine with Continuum Shift Extend. A non-fighting game here, but it was only $3. It was like $2.70, something like that. And it's a series that I have one game for at least already, and it's a series that I really need to catch up with, and that is Unreal Tournament 3 for the PlayStation 3. I couldn't believe how cheap this was. And I actually didn't know too much about the game, but I've watched some reviews, watched a little bit of gameplay. Looks pretty awesome, so I'm looking forward to that. And for $3 for a legendary first-person shooter series, nice to have. Okay, and then the last game that I bought on the first trip to GameStop was Soul Calibur 5. Not huge into the Soul Calibur series. I've only played 2, and I really like 2. I just never played any of the other games in the series, but the guy working that I was talking to, that I was getting chummy with, said that Soul Calibur 5 was really cool, so I did go ahead and pick it up, and I'm looking forward to it. I hear pretty good things and some mediocre things, but I'll give it a shot, and I don't mind a fighting game with a story mode. I would prefer that they have a story mode, so there was just a little bit more to it other than just standard fights. And I like kind of like the RPG type elements, with the weapon upgrades and things like that are in the Soul Calibur series. So I'm looking forward to this, and I don't know when I'll get to it, but sometime. And then today, like I said, we did go back so I could return the extra copy of Continuum Shift. So I got a little bit of credit, not too much, but I went ahead and picked up a couple more games anyway. Picked up DMC, finally, Devil May Cry, the reboot of the series by Capcom from, I don't know, it was 2012, 2013 is what it says. And it's got a name on it that I just adore, and that is Ninja Theory. Ninja Theory makes some of my very favorite games. I just said in one of my very last videos that I really wanted to get this game, and now I have it, so I'm really looking forward to this. Love Enslaved and Heavenly Sword so much, and this game, I played the demo for this, and I really, really liked what I played, so looking forward to that. And the game I picked up at GameStop today was Street Fighter Cross Tekken. I know I have this on the Vita, but I like it because it's a fighting game and I can play it on the Vita, but I don't know, man. Like the touch screen stuff just kind of throws me off because I accidentally hit it and it activates gems or whatever, and I just don't like it as much. But I knew that I would probably enjoy it on the console. I've been watching a lot of gameplay of Street Fighter in general, and of course some Street Fighter Cross Tekken. So I went ahead and picked it up, and it was pretty cheap with my credit. I think I ended up paying like $10 for this, and then like 15, 16 for DMC. So yeah, it really wasn't a big deal. I'm looking forward to it. And then we went to Target, and I picked up De Blob 2, kind of a lackluster final game to show off, but it was the last thing I picked up. I hear that this is a pretty cool platformer series, and this was only $5, brand new from Target, so I said, whatever. Now, the meat and potatoes of this pickup video, though, the main dish here is one of the coolest things I've picked up in a while. I hinted at it, of course, in one of my last videos that I would be getting a fight stick relatively soon, and I got it in the mail today. I got one-day shipping from Amazon Prime, which was awesome. It was like $4 for one-day shipping, so it was kind of a no-brainer. I picked up the Hori Mini Fighting Stick 3, or Fighting Stick Mini 3. And this thing is pretty small, like compared to most fight sticks. But it is so nice. Got that clicky joystick that everybody, shows off, clicky joystick. And the buttons, they're not Sanwa buttons, and you can't put Sanwa buttons in it. It's too small. But I like the way these feel, and for an entry-level fighting stick, it's reviewed extremely well. It's made by Hori, so it's a good product. And it's a good beginner fighting stick for the price, too. This thing was only $40, which is really nice compared to a lot of the other fighting sticks, which, once I get, once I feel like I'm getting pretty good with this one and I'm enjoying it a lot, I may upgrade at some point. I may try to get a Mad Catz or, a higher-end Hori stick, because those are like 100, $150, which is quite a bit more expensive. So extremely good starting level product, I think, because I feel like I was born to play fighting games with an arcade stick. I don't have a ton of arcade experience. I can remember playing a little bit of fighting games in the arcade, but not very much. We just hardly ever went to the arcade. We didn't have one around here, so if you played an arcade game, it was usually, whatever they had at the bowling alley, which was another town away from me, and it usually wasn't a fighting game. It was usually something else. I mean, I played a lot of Ms. Pac-Man and Ninja Turtles, the arcade game, which was fantastic, but and a lot of pinball. They had a pinball machine in there always, and I always felt like I was getting more for my money if I played pinball, because I'm not good at pinball, but I was better at it than whatever arcade game was in there, and it was the same price. But anyway, I've only played with this for, I don't know, 30 minutes, 45 minutes this evening, but I was already getting the hang of it, and it was just really kind of second nature, and I just really, really liked it. And I think that in the long run, I'm really going to enjoy playing with a stick more than with a controller, at least for fighting games. This will be really nice for shooters too, but sadly I don't have any shooters that I can think of on the PlayStation 3, because I think this is specific for the PlayStation 3. I don't think it'll work on the 360, which is fine. Yeah, I don't have any shooters for the PS3 at this point. But maybe I have some for the PlayStation 1. So if I have some for the PlayStation 1, then that's good too, because I can play those on the PS3. So there you go. I think, oh, hey, here's the best pickup. Actually, I forgot about it already. This is what my wife bought me in Chicago. They went to Bubba Gump Shrimp Company Restaurant and Market, and she said that it was a blast. So many different throwbacks to the movie, Greenbow, Alabama, Run Forrest Run, all the whole 9 yards. She got some great pictures, and she had a great time in Chicago, and maybe we'll do a vloggery about that at some point, about her trip or something, just to kind of update y'all on us too. I mean, because we're crazy random people, and we like doing random things. And speaking of which, I know I just moved the game room down here just a couple months ago. Still haven't done a game room tour, but probably moving the game room again, which is kind of daunting when I look around at how much stuff I moved in here. But if you only knew how much stuff was not placed anywhere yet, was still in kind of in boxes laying behind me. If you only knew. If you only knew. Anyway, I think that's about it. I've probably forgotten something, but that'll be for another video. So thanks for watching. Doom Waves out.